Welcome to Martini Time. I've gone back to my my uncle's martini glass collections. I showed this the first time, but the holy grail of all of his martini glasses was this fish. I think he probably paid $300 for it, and he may have talked him down on that. But if you're going to drink share the Eucharist, it's a good thing to use a fish because that's a Christian symbol. And what did I learn today was the meaning of straight up. Now, when my uncle used to take me to his church, when I would go down to Tampa, which was the local restaurant bars, but he would take me to his church and show me how to, and it was like going to an altar. I mean, the bartender was the priest, and he would serve the Eucharist there. And I learned some terms because he would order, Tommy knew how to order a martini, and it would always be straight up, dry with a lemon twist. And I never really understood what straight up was until the day before yesterday when I did my morning talk, Buddha's in Your Landfill, and the iPad camera went horizontal on me, but since I was filming directly, so I couldn't see the screen because I wanted my posters to be read, I couldn't tell that it was horizontal, sideways. So I gave the whole talk with the camera going sideways, and I thought I was straight up. so that I connected, ding ding, straight up versus sideways. So anyway, he would order it straight up, and then I read today, I looked it up and said the straight up means gin or vodka, and if you're a martini priest, it's gin, and you chill the wine, chill the gin in you stir it. Tommy, you never shake it. You bruise the gin, you stir it, and then you filter out the gin, filter the ice out, and you pour it chilled. So that's straight up. Now, the other opposite of straight up is on the rocks. So that's kind of metaphorical. You want to be straight up. You don't want to be on the rocks. So your martini is straight up. So that was a very important thing I learned today, because we really go through life sometimes thinking we're straight up when we're sideways. And other people, like on my live broadcast, when I looked at the comments, people were commenting, "You're sideways, you're sideways." Of course, I couldn't read it because it was on the other side of the camera. So when we're sideways, we always believe we're straight up, and other people will tell us, you're sideways, and you'll say, "No, you're sideways, I'm straight up. You're sideways." So remember that. Okay, when you believe you're straight up, you're probably sideways. Well, let me show you something else I found. My uncle had a ferret, and it's still alive. I mean, ferrets live. Here, can you see? Ferrets live a long way, and they whoa. Did you pee in your pants? The ferret's gone running. Okay. I remember the first time he showed me his ferret. He had a wood shop, and he built these, he'd build stuff, and we went to visit his wood shop, and he said, "Here's my ferret," wow. And so every now and then, when the time's right, I show people my ferret. And it never fails to get a scream. But this was, the other thing Tommy always ordered was straight up dry with a lemon twist. Now that lemon twist is interesting. When I was fixing him his martinis, as I said before, I didn't know what it was. I just put a slice of lemon in there. But no, lemon twist is where you peel off a twist of lemon, so you have the peeling of a lemon twist in it, like a pig's tail in it. You know, you don't squeeze the lemon in it. So this was always reminding me of my uncle's humor. So we always, you know, his humor was dry, and it always had a lemon twist. Now this little ferret joke was the lemon twist, you see. Well, let me show you something else. This, since we have time, my uncle gave me many things, and one of which, would you like to see my pride and joy? Isn't that nice? This was his business card. It's my business card now, and he would say, you know, you use this business. You say, would you like to see my pride and joy? People always say, oh yeah, sure, and then they look at it, and then there is a lemon twist. That there is a blank space in the mind where the mind is trying to compute it. Its expectation was, I'm going to look at somebody's ugly kid or dog or their truck or whatever their pride and joy is. And then when you show them the pride and joy, there is a momentary dropping of the mind, and then there's a huge laugh. You know, they really laugh. That is so neat. And then you give them the card, and they put it in your pocket, and they never forget. So this works. This works 99% of the time. The ferret works 100%, but this works 99%. And it took me a long time to figure out why. But there is when I was teaching my class for insight meditation, when I opened the class the first day, I always did the pride and joy thing because I gave everybody my card so they would have my email. But I always got a laugh. Once in a while, I would give it to somebody, and they would look at it, and I knew they were a fundamentalist. I mean, there's no irony there. But there is a great psychological Zen principle here. Everything to me is a Zen principle, but that's okay. And that is, when you have an expectation of what's coming, like I'm going to see their pride and joy. Well, pride and joy, you see, is a metaphor in our culture. Pride and joy is a metaphor for showing something that a person has pride and joy in, children, whatever. Except you don't want to let Kramer of Seinfeld see it, because he will say, oh, that's an ugly baby. But anyway, most people will smile and say, oh, how it's beautiful, you see. So there's an expectation of being scripted, of having to be inauthentic, you see. And so when the card is delivered, and you see that it's literally a bottle of pride and joy, if you notice this is from the 50s. You don't see pride and joy like that anymore. So when your expectation is defeated, your mind falls off, and the liberation from your expectation rushes in like thunder to fill in when the air fills in a lightning bolt. You know, when lightning crashes, it burns the air out, and the air rushing in creates the thunder. Right? So the air rushing in, the mind rushing in to fill in the gap where the expectation was, is joy and laughter. So we are joyous when our expectation is falls, and we see reality clearly. You see? So when I see clearly that it's really a pride and joy, it wasn't expectation of something, you know, where I was going to have to be inauthentic, you see. That it's a liberating realization. So in this tiny little card, in this little lemon twist, you see, there is a Zen Satori. Really. Zen Satori means a realization of reality as it is instead of what we think it is. And that's always joyous. It can be very painful, especially if you find out that you've been sideways when you thought you were straight up, you see. So whenever you find out that you are sideways when you thought you were straight up, remember this and laugh, because it's liberating. It's liberating to be free from expectations, from all expectations. That's the real Eucharist, to be free from the expectations of the future and the fear that they won't happen and the loss when they do and all of that. Liberation is being liberated from the expectations of the mind. And now you're just this, no expectations. It's all right. So that's our martini for the day. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.